I got to do something incredibly cool last month, because I was invited to an event in central London. And you guys know me, I don't touch grass without good reason, but this was a good one because I was invited to try two of the most anticipated VR games of 2025, Reach and Thief VR. And already there is a lot for me to unpack there. This was the first time I've ever been to an event like this, and my goodness was I nervous. Setting foot in that place, I can confidently say I've never felt such intense imposter syndrome in my life. I'm just a guy that makes dumb videos of myself playing video games and getting electrocuted by my chat. So the fact I was sitting on a sofa waiting for my turn to play these amazing games, surrounded by legends in the VR YouTube space, even now still blows my mind. And for that I am incredibly grateful, but I'll talk more on that at the end. Both of these games are coming out later this year, and in this video I want to give you my first impressions of each. And if I can give you a little spoiler, I think both of these games are ones to watch out for. And just before we get onto the impressions, in this video I'll be using a mixture of my own footage from the event and B-roll that I've been given. Obviously you guys won't be able to tell the difference as I am a professional VR player, but there may be some subtle signs. Starting off, the game that I got to try first was Reach, which I played on PC VR using a Quest 3. This is an action-adventure game made by Dreams Elevation, and the basic premise, as far as I can tell, is you get taken into an ancient underground city and you have to stop the world from ending. This game absolutely gave me Uncharted vibes, where you have awesome action set pieces with parkour in them and also interesting puzzles to complete. If you like VR games that have nice graphics, then Reach definitely fits that description too, with interesting level design and detailed textures. I got to play 3 levels of this game: an intro tutorial level to learn the basic movement mechanics, another level which was more about learning the setting for the game, and then a final level which skipped ahead story-wise where I had all of the abilities and such unlocked. In classic Ryan fashion, I wasn't very good, I died a lot, and even somehow managed to get the game to glitch out at the start.
Oh, putting my hands outside of the van.
And disclaimer, this was a work in progress build, I don't think that'll happen in the full release. Anyways, once I got my hand out of the door, it became very clear that free running is a massive part of Reach. You can climb, mantle off of ledges, crawl under objects and through tight spaces. And it's all done while your VR avatar moves how you'd expect it to, legs included. If you played Bone Labs, you'll know what I'm talking about. It really helps you feel immersed in the world when you are hanging off a wall and your feet are exactly where you'd expect them to be. But what made Reach stand out to me is its satisfying mechanics, where to interact with the world you not only have to press a button on your controller, but in some cases combine it with a physical movement. For example, the way in which you do a running jump is to hold down the A button and then physically move your arm up when you want to leap. You can do these jumps consecutively, and when you combine these jumps with the other mechanics like the grapple, climbing and monkey barring, it really does make you feel like you're playing a Mirror's Edge type game in VR. But I gotta say, the most satisfying thing for me during this demo was how you take out your shield. You once again hold down a button on your controller, but then you flick your wrist to make it pop out, and it's just so damn satisfying. Then when you throw it, you can call it back to you. This game pretty much makes you Captain America. Then when it comes to the combat in Reach, it kind of combines everything we've just been talking about. The combat arenas have lots of different routes, which allow you to use the free running to outmaneuver your enemies. When fighting, you mainly use the bow, which has 3 different elements you can put on the arrows: ice, explosive, and electricity. But if you are clever, you can grapple some of the enemy's weapons away from them, which gives you access to powerful pistols and shotguns. Reach also allows you to do things stealthily if you want. You can literally rip the spines out of your enemies if you sneak up behind them. I also really enjoyed the puzzle sections in this demo. It felt like they were difficult enough and incorporated all of the things we've just been talking about, like the free running and the tools that you get. And it felt like there was a good balance between the puzzle sections and the combat sections. Overall, I finished the Reach demo feeling it was exactly what I was expecting in terms of it being a fun action-adventure story game, but with an even more positive feeling when it came to its satisfying movement and mechanics. So if you want a VR game that has Uncharted vibes mixed with Mirror's Edge, this is definitely one you should consider picking up. Then I was moved straight onto Thief VR, and I got to play this on PSVR 2, which I had never used before up until that point, so that was kinda cool. But anyways, Thief VR is being published by Vertigo Games and developed by Maze Theory and Edios, I think I'm getting that right, Montreal. For context, Vertigo Games published Arizona Sunshine and Metro Awakening, both games I enjoyed. But I was a bit worried as I'd never played the flat screen Thief game, so I was going into this demo relatively blind. Having said that, a game I had played is Dishonored, which was inspired by Thief, and I love that game. So I tried to base my experience off of that. And after finishing, I've got to admit, I was pleasantly surprised. In terms of the game's story, you play as a thief called Magpie who discovers a legendary artifact which kind of kicks off the story. Now, this may come as a surprise to some of you, but with the name of this game being Thief, stealth is a major part of it. You have to sneak around in the shadows and quite literally steal anything that looks like it has any value. And for me, as someone who plays games like Fallout and compulsively needs to fully ransack a room before moving on to the next, this was right up my street. I got to play 2 missions, one where it was more of a tutorial and the second mission was more of a full-on mission where I had to go into a house, steal an artifact and get out without being spotted. And I would say the thing that stood out most to me with Thief VR was options. How do you want to deal with guards? You could sneak by them. Alternatively, you could take them out with your bow or with close-up takedowns and then hide the bodies. How do you want to get into the house? You could lockpick your way in or climb the side of the building to get to an open window. Or perhaps you scout out the guards, locate the one who has the key and then pickpocket them. Thief VR gives you this sandbox in terms of how to complete missions and leaves it up to you, the player, on how to get it done. And of course, me being me, it didn't matter what choices the game gave me, I was terrible regardless.
Oh. That was not. I did not throw that well enough. All right. Oh. That was even worse.
I also managed to make the Thief demo glitch out, which I don't know how I keep managing to do this. Maybe it says something about me. I managed to make an arrow that I fired get frozen in time in front of me for the majority of the second level. And again, these are early access builds of these games. I'm sure these glitches will be sorted out on full release. I just thought it was funny that I managed to somehow make both games glitch. Just to hammer this point home, Vertigo Games released a trailer the other day about the event, where they interviewed some of the creators and asked them about their experience playing Thief. And it was from this trailer that I discovered I played this demo in the most vanilla way possible. Everyone else was using rope arrows to climb the buildings or the water arrows to douse lights to make themselves harder to spot. And then there was me just bonking every single guard on the head and then attempting to hide them in the middle of a spotlight.
This is not a good place to hide in.
But I think this just emphasizes the sandbox nature of Thief VR even more so. Then in terms of some cool features I wanted to highlight specifically, this game obviously is all about staying in the darkness. So in game you can use your hands to pinch out candles to make it darker. But not only that, because this game will also use your headset's microphone so you can physically blow out candles, which I think is very cool. Then I think this feature will also make it so you can call out to guards to distract them. These are small little things, but I think they add that extra layer of immersion, which I really appreciate. But yeah, I came away from both demos having really enjoyed them. Both of them were about an hour long, and that isn't enough time for me to tell you whether these games are going to be amazing or not, but what I can say is they were both really fun and I look forward to when I get to try them again. Both Reach and Thief VR are coming out in 2025 on Quest, Steam, and PSVR 2. So if you'd like to check out either one of them, I've put links in the description of this video. But just to bring it back around to what I was saying at the beginning of this video, this is one of the coolest things I've got to do as a content creator, and I learned a lot. But I think my biggest takeaway from going to this event is that the VR community is amazing. I had no reason to be nervous. Every single person I met was so kind and welcoming, so if anyone I met is watching this video, thank you. Hopefully I didn't come across as too weird in my imposter syndrome awkwardness. But more specifically, I want to say a quick thank you to Jamie from the VR Game Showcase for not only inviting me, but giving me that nudge to interact with everyone. It was an amazing event and not one I'm going to forget for a long time, so thank you so much for the opportunity. And let's not get this twisted. The only reason I could attend this and embarrass myself sucking at VR in front of a bunch of devs is you. Yes, you, the person watching this video right now. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Doing this whole YouTube thing has been a dream of mine since I was a kid, and you enjoying, liking, and hyping my stupid videos is what has allowed me to get this far, and I will always be grateful for that. But yeah, that's the end. There will be a spooky video coming out on Thursday this week, so keep an eye out for that, and I hope to see you all then. Bye guys.